Hey, welcome back to the channel. Anyways, real excited here. We're making more progress on the Snowcat. We're going to start in completing the boxes that go around the engine doghouse, the fuel cell, the heater, and our battery box, along with our air compressor. So it's also going to double as a bench. So I decided to go with steel here because it's not going to take up much room, and it's going to be tough and durable. So working with a piece of 12 gauge here that I've had sitting around for a couple of years. So it's got a little bit of flash rust on it, but that wire wheel's right off, as you'll see coming up. So good thing about this is, like I said, it's going to be sturdy enough. We're going to be able to do everything we need to. Plus, it's going to give some protection. Making that out of steel, give us a good secure place to attach anything we need to, whether it's going to be welded on. Some of the pieces are going to be screwed down, and then most of the pieces are actually going to be stuck on with the 3M VHB tape, just so that it provides a little bit of insulation in between and doesn't provide any room for it to rattle. So I needed to do a 1-inch lip on these pieces here. I tried a couple different methods to bend that up, but it seemed to just be best just to lay a piece of 1/4 inch along it and then C-clamp it to it, and then actually just use a hammer and get that 1-inch lip bent up with a hammer. So cutting the back piece here, which will be the front face of the rear of the Snowcat. So you can see we're going to tip that up now. We're going to measure that out, get where we want to put that heater for the rear heater. So making sure everything fits right, because anytime you do everything custom, you get everything as square as possible in that, but there's still little nips and tucks that help it fit just absolutely perfect. So getting that heater stand in there, so that gives us a little bit of room above the transmission. So if we ever need to work under the doghouse in the transmission, we've got that extra space to make everything capable there. So you can kind of see there we're cutting the holes out for the heater now that we've measured that. So that way the heater can face to the rear and still have a smooth front face, not worry about trying to get hit the registers or anything, the vents, whatever. Depends on what part of the country you're from, but we call them vents here. So and that so then got some helpers showing up here and getting some of that flash rust off with a wire wheel. So they polish up pretty fast. Do notice there's a little bit of dust there. Probably should have had a dust mask on, but it's winter time out, so things are cold, so you don't quite ventilate like you should. Just working on the heater, trying to get some stuff prepped up for that. So I'll switch videos here and kind of show you that. But first we got this all prepped up, getting them up on the stands, cleaning up any of the cutting edges and that, and then take some acetone and prep the steel there, and then put a coat of gloss black urethane on there, and some good heavy duty paint. In fact, it's so good you can't you've got to grind it off in order to get a good ground to re-weld on it. So here's that heater we bought, and for the rear, it was kind of a setup for like an overhead piece of logging equipment, so we needed to change it and move the fence all 4 to the back. So we're going to end up cutting that out and getting that to the point where we can face everything blowing straight out the back. We also had to move the controls, because the controls are on, technically it'd be the bottom of the heater, but we needed to move the fan controls, and then we didn't need the blender valve that was originally in there. So took that out, put it in for full heat, because in a Snowcat you're either going to need heat or not need heat. So we decided to simplify things and just go with that. So trying to measure everything out and make sure it's going to sit in there right. So then we just was able to cover up the excess holes we didn't need. This here's that front heater. We actually picked this heater up from Northern Radiator, which is based out of Wilmer, Minnesota. Getting that front tray so it drops right in front of the windshield there, and that's going to provide us our defrost and our front heat for the floor in the cabin. So hopefully you like this video. Definitely more to come. Thanks for watching, and if you liked it, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. We'll talk to you soon. See you on part 8.